Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you all know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Scottish Falcons show. So be you Clydeside, Stateside or worldwide, it's time to rise up and join us. As I say, it's a special episode of the Scottish Falcons tonight because I'm going to jump in there first before anyone else gets in there. So rise up and have an awesome birthday because, as I say, my co-host with the most dirty days, if you will. It's his birthday today, so the AFNI family have chipped in and made you a wee cake. But as I say, still enjoying the sun over there in Portugal. But how are you this evening, my brother?
Yeah, good mate, good. It was quite overcast today in the Albufeira, so it quite strange. It was like a cloud that was literally just sitting on the town. So this morning I just opened the window and I thought, I'll just open the patio doors and I'll just relax. And then it brightened up later on, and I went for a walk along the cliffs. So yeah, it's just been a quiet birthday. Just the way I like it, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, it's a nice way to spend it. Like, as I say, as we are in business, so should we be in life. So we don't crave the drama. And I know, as you said in the last episode, it's your wee kind of home away from home and your wee place to go and catharsize it all, as it were. So I've never actually been to Portugal myself, but I've been next door. I've been to Spain, and as I say, a lot of the Iberian coast is just beautiful. And shout out to the First Lady as well. She's sending you some birthday wishes. But yeah, big week of football coming. Well, starts tonight, I should say, because as I say, we might not get a hell of a lot of viewers tonight because we're up against the SEC Championship game with Georgia and Bama. As much as I'd love to say we were pushing this off because my Longhorns were playing. I sadly can't do that. So thank you, fuck you very much, Florida. But yeah, it should be a good game.
Well, Texas Tech just destroyed BYU, so they're the Big 12 champions. So they'll definitely be into the college playoff. BYU, obviously, they'll probably slip out now. They were at number 11. So yeah. I think I'll be up quite late tonight watching most of the games because I quite fancy the Indiana-Ohio game as well, which is on at 1 o'clock. While we're talking about it, obviously we had the possibility that the Scotland-Brazil game was going to be in Atlanta, but it's now went to Miami.
Yeah.
Now, I got to say, when I actually seen the World Cup draw, I seen Aaron Judge and Tom Brady, and I thought, you can go and fuck yourselves with that one. My Braves and my Falcons, two people that they hate. And then obviously they thought that, yeah, we could be playing in Atlanta, and by God, if Atlanta seen the Tartan Army, as I said in Twitter, it would be a sight to behold. But
yeah,
even worse.
Well, as I said to you, Des, I mean, we know that Atlanta is going to be hosting one of the quarterfinals, so we just need to make it there. And I mean, I don't know offhand who the USA have, but as co-hosts, but Scotland have drawn Brazil, Morocco, and who was the other one? Haiti. So, I mean, I feel pretty confident that we can come out of that second place. Once you reach the last 16, then it's anyone's ball game. So we may still have a date set for Atlanta. We don't know yet.
The main downside for Scotland is that 2 of their games is in Boston.
Yeah.
Which
trying to cash in on that Scots-Irish connection, methinks. And you know what? For once tonight, I'll actually agree with Maggie as well. I don't often I like to see you guys win as long as it's not against Texas, but against Bama, absolutely, you can go out there and ball out all you want tonight. Sorry, Des.
The revenge game tonight after what happened earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So 2 games in Boston. and one game in Miami. And to be honest, I think a lot of people are saying on Twitter about how disappointed they are with the games that Atlanta's got. Obviously, they've got the number one team in the world. Spain is going to be there, I think, for two games. But they had the chance of getting Scotland, Brazil, and they got Morocco, Haiti. And looking at our games, our two our games is 11 o'clock at night and 2 in the morning. The first game, Haiti game, is 2 o'clock in the morning. So whoever put that together didn't really work it well, to be honest.
Like our first World Cup in 28 years, and they continue to shaft us. What can I say? Because as international fans, it had to be the USA that we made it in on the other side of the planet. So I mean, if you want the watch parties for the Scotland games, we can bring them, but just know that they'll be sponsored by Nescafe and Hatred.
yeah. And we go 28 years without getting to the World Cup, and when we finally get to the World Cup, two of the last teams that we played in the World Cup, Brazil and Morocco, we get. And Haiti's only swapped out by Norway. So a wee bit of... and see, to be honest, I love the fact that, I mean, listen, I'm not getting political, but I love the fact that Trump kept on calling it football. Kept on calling it soccer, and said, well, we've got football, and then Rio Ferdinand came out and said, can we just call it football going forward? And I just thought that was fantastic. I was laughing at that when he kept on calling it soccer. It's like
we need to find some common ground here. Are any of you guys going to be tuning in to watch the Kickball World Cup this coming summer?
But then at the end, they said, well, when you look at it, I mean, your game is football, I suppose, because you're kicking the ball. But I just thought to myself, yeah, listen, we're going to America. It's not the game in America, so we have to do what the natives do, which is call it soccer. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
When in Rome.
Funny.
But that's the thing. It takes me back to my playing days, because I used to go like, "Oh no, I play football," and they'd be like, "Oh, what position?" And I'd go, "Oh, I'm a wide receiver." Then they'd kind of look at you, and you'd go, "Oh no, I mean football, not soccer." And they went, "Oh, you don't mean football, then you mean hand egg." And it's like, I see what you did there, but no, it's going to be fun, and it's a way for us to, as I say, branch out in 2026, because I was kind of hoping. Not just from obviously a national pride standpoint, but also the fact that it gives us something else to cover on the channel as well. So looking forward to the summer. It's going to be fun, because as we've been saying, we love our hashtags, and we've been reading everywhere that's anywhere that there's no Scotland, there's no party. So yeah, but we'll turn back onto the sport of the weekend. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, let's start by one of the narratives that I wanted to kind of pick fault with as well. And I'm going to cast your mind back a little bit to the draft just gone, Des. I'm going to pull up some visuals here. So Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. A lot of people saying, "Oh, we don't have a first round pick this year. We sold it. We gave it away." No, we didn't. We used it. Look at that level of value. Jalen Walker at 15, James Pierce Jr. at 26, and that's your number one and number two respectively. Defensive rookies in terms of sacks, defensive pressure rates went through the roof. So I mean, it helped me make sense of it. Where is this denigration coming from, do you feel, Des? I mean, what is people's faults with essentially using a first round pick a year early? I know it's a strong class this year. There's a lot of interesting names, but what's your take on it all?
Yeah, I mean, we still have next year's first round pick. He's playing edge, and he's got 5 sacks. So that's our next year's first round pick. I've challenged quite a few people, and I see a lot, and again, shout out to Mark Zeno as well. See a lot people challenging this, effectively the mainstream sports media talking about how, Atlanta's not doing well and they don't have the first round pick next year. I'll go on again. For the first round pick, we got James Pierce Jr. and Xavier Watts. I mean, you cannot, and they have balled out this year. It's not as if Xavier Watts has been in rotation. He's been there in every game. You've got Jalen Walker, who we got at 15. He's had 5 sacks. We've got James Pierce Jr. He's got 5 sacks. He's the highest pressure rate of any rookie and one of the highest in the league in pressure rates. I mean, if it's this constant bullying and talk down about Atlanta. Yeah, listen, we're not playing well this year. It's not looking good this year, but we've said before, and we said in the last show, the positives that we've got this year are plenty to choose. We've got James Pierce Jr., we've got Jalen Walker. Again, they'll take us. We could have them for 10 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it just seems to be it's fashionable to boot into the Atlanta Falcons every now and again. If there's nothing happening that's important, let's just have a go at the Atlanta Falcons. And then you see other teams.
We do make a good sort of punching bag for the league, and I mean, as I say, we may not have time tonight to put the social posts up there and tease this man coming on, but as I say, you've seen him around the AFN block a little bit now, and as I say, we're thrilled to announce and honoured.
There we go. He's you come in perfectly. So introduce yourself and.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm C-Double. I do my own shows and stuff. So, and I've been doing some things with the Falcaholic, or not Falcaholic, but with AFN. Just been listening and having some fun. And then, what was it? Will here hit me up. It's like, come on, be on the show at 3. So I was like, all right. And then I was working on stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, do I even have the link? So I was like, so yeah. So obviously, I realized, a few minutes late, but hey, that's the motto of the Falcons. Always late and don't show up.
Yeah, that's it. Well, at least we can put together a good show and not the mediocre display that the team's been putting up in some instances this season. But no, as I say, we're thrilled to have you on the show, and as I say, it's not the last you're going to see of this man, because coming live at about 12:30 tonight, you're going to get my first solo show. So if you want to hear me talk a little bit broader than just football, I'm going to be doing some of that a little later. But going to announce it officially tonight that for the senior retirement match, the Saturday night's main event, myself and C are going to be hosting a little watch party for that for you, so stay tuned for that as well.
Oh yeah.
But seeing as you're just in the building, I'll let you field this question as well. So do you, I mean, you must have seen the narrative as well, see the whole this camp of Falcons fans who believe that we wasted a pick in selecting James Pierce Jr., and I feel like the proof's in the pudding.
Here's the deal. Let's take James out of this. This is kind of how I have to do this. I take James out of it because honestly, if you want to look at James, you want to look at everybody else, guess what? I look at those guys and I go, James and Jalen have been giving us some good work. They've been playing well. So take them out of it. This is more of an organizational thing. When you make a move and you trade your first round pick, what you're saying is it's playoffs or bust. Because you keep telling people this pick is going to be in the low 20s. We ain't worried. We don't care. We had to get this pass rusher. Okay. Do I have an issue with, look, you did it. Now, me personally, I would have waited, tried to get Mike Green. That's the guy I wanted, but we got James Pearson. Look, if you're going to, look, so far he's making you look good in the fact of at least he's not a bust. Right now, he's given us more production, I think, than a lot of us thought. Him and Jalen. So that's why I said take those guys out of it. But whenever you do a trade or you do something in the regard of we're taking this guy, and look, the Giants, I think, picked ahead. They traded up, and all they had to give up was like a couple of thirds to get to the pick that ended up getting them Jackson Dart. So did we overpay? That's the other thing. That's why I look at this and I just go, I go back to what I've said about Terry. 5 years in a row, losing seasons. And you could tell me everything about that first tenure. I get it. But he's still that title. Everything was attached to it. It's like this. It's like the fart in the elevator. Nobody wants to claim it, but we all stink. So, that's where I'm at. Now, the pick, I hate it because I look at it like it's a top 10 pick. And that's an asset. And look, I'm with everybody that says, well, there's no good pass rusher. Okay, I'm with you. What about a safety? What about this? What about a lineman? God knows we could always use a lineman. So I just feel like the Falcons have been exposed when it comes to whenever they don't focus on a problem, they overcorrect the problem. The next year. And then that always then it hurts in other areas. And I have to go here. You want to look at that GM? Well, look at the lack of depth we have, and then look at the GM and ask the question. You're supposed to come up with guys that can play. What's going on? Oh, well,
I can see both sides. Des said earlier, Texas Tech's just handled BYU. I know you can say that their whole front seven is essentially stacked, but this could be the first time in a while where we see a big IDL, a big nose tackle go top 10, because that Lee Nelson kid is a stud, and no mistake. So,
the way I look at it is if we had the top 10 pick next year, and we picked somebody, if there was an edge there, and we picked an edge that had the same statistics as James Pierce Jr. this year, we'd be happy with that. So
exactly, and that's why I keep saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The issue I've got is that, and you talked about the actual organization. That the issue we've got just now is the fact that the Kirk Cousins contract and the amount we had to pay to Kirk Cousins. Now, the issue and the thing we don't know is who instigated that. Was that, and this is the problem with this organization. We don't know who's in control of it. We don't know whether it is Terry Fontenot that's literally pulling all the lines, effectively doing everything. We've got Rich McKay there. We've got Arthur Blank. The thing I go back to as well is that you hear about Raheem Morris when he was going for the job, when he was interim head coach in 2020, and he spoke about how in his interview he spoke about how you had to put in place the future of the quarterback position because he had Matt Ryan at that point. So again, the one thing I would say about Terry Fontenot is he does try and work with his head coaches, and he does try and effectively do what he thinks they want done. And at that point, is that the reason why we brought in Kirk Cousins? Because they were looking at effectively a rookie quarterback to bring in at the draft. And that's the biggest issue for me. We don't know who's in control in this organization. So we can throw Terry under the bus, but it's a case of was it his decision? And that is the biggest issue.
That's fair. When it comes to Terry, I would say that he is a very head coach friendly GM, but I also feel like that's a double-edged sword, because you can also say to that end that he's given Raheem and Zach Morris in turn all the weapons that they need to be successful. If someone speaking from a gamer standpoint, if somebody went like, "Oh, I've drafted you an offense on Madden," and you looked and it was number for number our offense, I feel like they'd be pretty happy until you told them that your OC was Zach Robinson. But yeah, like as I say, I'll let you take this as well, see. But surely it's gonna come out in the wash somewhere. You'd like to think.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things will. I think you have, the I killed you thing has to eventually come out. Him and Ray Ray.
Yeah.
Because we all know, if you know a guy named Ray Ray, he ain't staying quiet for long. Here's what I'm going to say. If you're asking me what needs to happen for the Falcons to turn this around, I'll tell you what my plan has always been. I'm getting me a Zara football. I am cleaning house. I am bringing all the cleaning products you can think of. I am busting out walls. I am stripping it to the studs. And I'm looking over at one. I'm going after Skeletor himself, and I'm going to get rid of him. And if you don't know who Skeletor is, that's Rich Decay. All right, you get rid of him. I'm going to look at Arthur Blank. Go on your yacht. Go hang out with Rich. Go to a private sector. Just leave the checkbook. I don't care. I would even, and that's where I would look at Josh. But the number one thing is, if I'm Josh, I'm actually kind of doing what Carly Ursay has done. You need to be a student of the game. You need to watch what's going on, but also get you somebody that's a football person that you basically say, "Hey, I'm entrusting you." Kind of what Rich was, but you're going to get someone that's more qualified now. Someone that's more into, this way of working football.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at guys like, I know you can't go after Les Snead unless you have compensation. I get that. But I'm looking at guys like that. I'm looking at guys that there's a surprise person I would actually take a run at if they fire him or if he left San Francisco. All right. But I would actually look and I would actually get me a person. I would look at a guy like Louis Riddick. My guy I would want is actually, the great Ozzie Newsome from Baltimore. And I'd just be like, what's your price? You're running everything. And you don't have to be the GM. I want you to hire the GM. Then the GM can hire the coach. But I need stability. I need to be taught football. You're working with me to teach me what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you make this very clear in Atlanta, because everyone's going to say, because until we have any kind of meeting or anything, we're still going to wonder if Arthur Blank's in charge. We're going to still wonder if the stink of Rich is there. So you can't just show a new building and say, we're here. No, screw that, because they can always hear the bugs in the background. So that's why you get you somebody, you get a football person, you get your GM. All right. You can look at the Eagles, how they do it. They talk about getting, and I'm saying like people that underwork for the GM. I know Howie Roseman wouldn't get fired, but now if Howie's free, come on down to Georgia. You already like our players, so we could talk to Kirby and make this a dream come true. But I would be doing that. Okay, I would try to get people that are successful in the draft, successful in. Okay, I can't sign you right away, but let me get these comp picks. Let me build up, because you got to get that depth up. Honestly, this year has exposed definitely one thing. You have no depth. Cornerbacks, offensive line, receivers, tight ends at one point. We have 4 tight ends, but I can't tell you which one is going to actually be a stud tight end. And that's including the 4th overall draft pick that nobody ever – hold on. And he's the one child that nobody wants to claim. Oh, that's Terry's pick. Oh, that's Arthur's pick. Oh, that's this pick. Oh, that – he's the one person that just, hung, and he's just there. He don't want, he's just there for the free food, I guess.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, it reminds you of that Spider-Man meme where they're all just pointing at one another. but
well, that's the Falcons front office.
Well, can I say one question, right?
Yeah.
If we mention Les Snead, right? Obviously, he's got an assistant general under him at the moment called John McKay.
Mm-hmm.
So is that somebody that you would look at? Because obviously he's under less need at the moment. So are we getting rid of Rich McKay and bringing in his son?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, I would not want Rich or his son to be a charge or be a part, because I don't think that would be good optics. You know, this fan base has been so burned. If they hear a Muck in any name, they're going to be throwing up in the streets.
But the way to look at it is that we're giving Josh the benefit of the doubt when it comes to Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that with John McKay as well?
Well, the only reason I wouldn't do it, I'm just saying,
I'm just looking optics.
It's the optics. Yeah, because think about it. Hold on. This is the same man that hired Arthur Smith. And a lot, and people were pointing at the FedEx deal. So there is already optics and ways of things when they connect like that. You go, "Ooh, maybe that don't look." It's not a good look. That's why I say that's why I would bring in a separate person to actually look this over and go, "Okay, we need to hire somebody like this." And look, if Jordan McKay is the guy that they hired, then that just tells you use different eyeballs. There's no. That's why I say have a clear cut of look. He's not making decisions. These guys are in Acapulco. They're collecting 20% on their interest. We are doing this, okay? And that's when if you do that, you can have that benefit with John McKay. If John McKay is that good, we don't know. And that's where I say you don't know with a lot of these guys.
Yeah,
like
and as you say, optics is an important thing. See as well, because you're talking about a team which let's be frank, we can see it, we can hear it in the tone of the posts from directly from the guys in the A that a lot of the fan base are out on this coaching staff. And some of the players are out too. Evidently, I mean the way that Drake's. I mean, I wouldn't, as I said to Des on the last show. I mean, I wouldn't blame him for half-assing at this point, but. Like the words like I just run the routes I'm given tell you everything you need to know. And Des mentioned as well, when you're talking about like head coaches, we need to, as you say, strip it back, go back to fundamental football and get people who know the game. And if you're talking about that from a coaching standpoint and from an X's and O's standpoint, I can think of no one better than bringing John Gruden in.
Here's what I'm going to say about Gruden, because in the beginning of the year, I actually said John Gruden is one guy I would go after. The only reason I wouldn't is because now you are in this flux situation where you don't know if you are a playoff team or if you got to rebuild this sucker. So if you have to rebuild, I would actually not bring in Gruden. But if I'm right there, if I'm just constantly there, I will tell you the team that should look at Gruden, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, would be Buffalo, because you are so close multiple times. And now that you got the Patriots there that are resurrecting, man, now's the time. And if Sean McDermott can't get, and look, if the Chiefs are not even in the playoff hunt and you still can't get through, then you really have to make a decision, because I know I got a buddy that always constantly asks me, do I think Sean McDermott should be fired? I've always said you got to I give him the chance, because I feel they've earned it. But now that's where John Gruden should go, is places that are at that point and just need that extra boof up.
Yeah.
We need some hard realization going on here.
That's very fair.
I mean,
so tense.
I mean that sure. I mean, nobody said that the Chicago Bears was going to go. I think they're 9-3 just now. So I mean, I honestly don't think this should be a rebuild team. I think we should keep what we've got. Try and sign the players that are coming up for the extensions, the contract extensions. And effectively go into 2026, hoping Michael Penix Jr. comes back quicker than what we hope he's going to come back. But we need to get something in place. Quarterback, You know what I mean? I was thinking today, what a quarterback that you could look at was obviously a Atlanta native who's Davis Mills. You know what I mean? He's doing not bad, but they're not going to keep him as number one quarterback in Houston. You know what I mean? So that's somebody you could bring in, and effectively he would probably steady the ship until Michael Penix Jr. comes back. But
I mean, that's something that I've mentioned in terms of the draft as well, because I like name escapes me, the kid King from Georgia Tech. I feel like he's built to run this play action offense that we're running, and it's quite a good point to kind of segue into the next topic, because when you want to talk about how inept we've been offensively, and the fact that we finally seem to be finding our feet a little bit, the Falcons' red zone offense percentage has risen from 45% to 92.9. So we've went from 28th to 4th in the league. Over the first 8 weeks of the season, we had only 9 red zone touchdowns in 20 drives. Over the last 5 games, we've improved that to a rate of now 13 touchdowns in our last 14 red zone drives. I'm going to put a lot of that on the running game, obviously, given the fact that Kirk is what Kirk is at this point. We make no qualms or song and dance about that, but I can definitely get behind what you were saying, Des. I would try to keep as many pieces of this offense together, given the work that Michael Penix has put in as well to kind of step up and try to be that leader as much as he's been forced into doing so this season. So yeah, I feel like I would do what I can to retain the pieces, but again, with guys like Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts, there are guys that teams that are want to come in and pay these guys. So, but yeah, I mean, how do you feel looking at this offense? I like when you talk about quarterback, I want to, as I say, I wouldn't mind getting one day 2 of the draft, a Haynes King or someone like that. But
is he away?
Yeah, I'm still listening to him.
Yeah.
So Haynes King.
I mean,
go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to hear yours.
As you mentioned, John Gruden. I honestly think not even looking at him as a head coach, I think he'd be a good shout because he brings a lot of knowledge. Somebody, as you said, like a guru, like a the NFL guru. I mean, there's nobody in the league that knows as much and has the knowledge and probably the respect to the players. Remember last year, I'm sure it was last year, that Kirk Cousins took all the players down to John Gruden's facility in Florida. You know what I mean? Because they were learning so much from this guy. So he's got a lot of respect to the players. The one thing you would say about John Gruden is that when he gets into a team, if it's a good team, he can make a lot of that team. The issue tends to be when he tries to build that team himself and actually brings in the pieces, and then he tends to suffer from that point of view. But I mean, we've said before the fan base is out on this coaching staff. I mean, you look at again, it just make it make sense that the up-down world, the Atlanta Falcons, we've got the 4th best red zone percentage, and we can't win a game. I mean, it just, and I guarantee this is it. If I'm Zach Robinson and I'm sitting in a meeting with Raheem Morris, Arthur Blank, and whoever else is there, I'm showing them that statistic and saying, "There you go, guys. That's what my offense is doing." You know what I mean? It doesn't look pretty, but statistically, it's working.
Yeah, I think I said this to you guys. Maybe it was in the group chat or maybe it was in the last episode. But it's like a Madden experiment. It's like, right, I'm going to do all these great things right, and see how far down the line I can get and still lose. As we say, there's nothing new here, but it really is victory from the jaws of defeat at some points. But it's something that we'll get used to is defeat this season. And I mean, this is kind of one of the big talking points, obviously, where we've got the game tomorrow. So when you're talking about the the battle of the birds, so to speak. We'll start to turn on to the game at the weekend and how we feel. But as you all know by now, week 14, we've got the Seattle Seahawks 9-3 football team coming in from the West. In terms of injury updates, you've got Drake London out, Brandon Dorless out, and as I say, one of the men of the hour, James Pierce Jr. is also listed as questionable at this point. And then obviously you add into the mix that they have the number one wide receiver in the league in Jackson Smith and Jigba, the former Ohio State Buckeye. And my biggest concerns would be that this man is still your head coach and that this man is still your OC. So, I mean, anything can happen, but we'll start with you as you're the guest, C. So how do you feel it's going to go tomorrow?
Jesus. All right. Look, I let me make this very clear. I am a Falcon fan. I do like this team. The problem is this team has been so abusive to me over the years that I've learned my lesson on how to cheer for the Falcons. It's more like this. Okay, I don't see nothing. All right. Because I'm going to tell you, if you listen to the press conferences, all they tell you is how stupid they are. I mean, I've never heard how stupid a coaching staff has ever heard like this team. And you know what? It's everybody. It's as soon as you get hired with Ra, you are indoctrinated into the stupid coach talk. I heard it from Marquise Williams, who I didn't even know could speak. I heard it from Zach Robinson, who keeps talking. The man said in a press conference, our offense is good because defense coordinators tell us we're doing good. Of course, because they're beating you, you idiot. Anyway, that's like me saying, yeah. Leave that $100 on the table. I got you. Yeah, don't worry. I got your back. Just put it in my pocket. But yeah, man, look. I look at Jackson's enigma. He's dominant. Someone's trying to say he's like Julio. No, because he goes all over the place. So you have to understand they're going to find the mismatch. Their tight ends can play. They have other receivers, which is kind of like a secret weapon because you don't realize Kupp's there. You don't realize Shaheed, who got traded there. There's some weapons there that they use. And the only reason this team, we don't know is because typically at 4:00, we're yelling at the Falcons, and we're listening to hate talk on the radio and we're not paying attention. And you got to watch out for number 9, Kenneth Walker, the third. I think that's his name. And also Charbonnet.
Running back, yeah.
Look, it's a Kubiak system. They are going to run the football. Now, if you've watched their games, people have talked about, if you can bring pressure, yes, you can get this team. If you can get pressure on this team, you can get them. The only problem I have with this team or with the pressure is this. By the fourth quarter, we tend to start laying off the gas pedal. And, then Albrecht becomes Jimmy Lake because third down, I don't understand this, but clearly on third down, this man just decides to go, F it, let's see what happens. And you made Tyrod Taylor look like a dang all-pro. That is the ultimate definition of Falcon. When Raheem said they out Atlanted us, no, that's falconing.
Yeah,
where you just, huh? Yeah,
you made something we've all grown to know. It's kind of the amount of memes is comical at this point, and all I can say is that 36 episodes in now, I can't believe there's people that still come here just to watch us rant. Because believe it or not, we don't come here just to complain. We don't like doing that. So to all the guys, Floyd, to Uncle Lou as well, and I mean, I'm gonna throw it back in there because we did mention it before. What's the chances of getting you on the show, Lou, at some point? And we can talk a little bit about this running offense.
Well, hopefully when we sign Tyler Algier a nice contract at the end of the year. I doubt it's going to happen. I think he's going to have a lot of admirers from other teams. going on what C says, that the issue I've got with the Seattle Seahawks is they've got the coach that I want to be our head coach next year, and Clint Kubiak. Effectively, if you want a history repeating itself, if you want to go back and work out that in 2015 when we brought in Kyle Shanahan, you know what I mean? That again, that was at the point where they thought it was jobs for the boys. At that point, because obviously his father and everything. But he obviously has shown how his knowledge of football. Clint Kubiak has shown the same, and he's obviously got the football father as well. Yeah. So that's if we're talking about next year, and as I say, I think on Sunday, I think it's going to be a roller coaster. I think this is going to be embarrassing for the Atlanta Falcons. I think it really is. C said it depends what kind of defense we step in with. But
and how healthy.
Yeah, that's true as well. And I mean, we've been not too consistent in terms of offensive line play, and this is one of the best front seven Seattle's had in a minute.
Yeah,
they're going to bring pressure. So my worry is
they are light.
Sorry,
they are light, but this defense is quick, and it's almost like, okay, you remember there was a time where our defense was not heavy, and it was almost like you could like interchange some of the players. It's almost like that, but with more organized chaos. Seattle will make Seattle plays like they have 13 guys on the field, but it's really 11, or it's and the pressure they could generate. And if they find a weakness, they go after it. Look, another thing about the Seahawks, when they get a lead, they don't give it back. These guys like to, and they know how to salt the game away. They don't play. That's something that the coaches have worked with them. They do not want to play down to the competition. The AFC West is that tough, and I believe it is. I think we're going to get our hands handed to us against the Cardinals because of how hard they play. But yeah, Seattle is good. Seattle, I think people could look at Seattle and go, it's Sam Darnold. He can't be that good. Okay, true. But did you say the same about Tyrod Taylor? Did you say the same about Tua? And, so let's not – and remember, we are the Falcons. It's like – So, like I said, do I think we can – like I think we could actually try to play well with them. But I remember the last game we played them in Atlanta last year. And they
destroyed us.
Yeah. And it was Geno Smith and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and to Louis' credit, I mean, when all your coaching staff are giving you is either lies, misinformation, misdirection, or just outright saying nothing, then you don't truly know as a sportscaster and as someone who's trying to provide you with the up to the minute facts. We can't honestly put our hands on our hearts and say we know or we are convinced that we know where the Falcons are at. I mean, we can give you a lot of educated opinions, but at the same time, it goes back to what we were saying a little earlier in the show, and that is one leader, one voice in the press conferences and things of this nature. We don't know who's in charge of what, and that's something we need to get organised.
I don't mind Raheem talking. I don't mind the other coaches talking. Make sure you sound like you know what the hell you're talking about, because when he tried to say that Marcus Williams or whatever, I can't remember his name now.
Marcus Williams,
Okay. Yeah. That their communication is great. And then they're saying, well, what about Ike Killer? Joe Patrick, thank God for you. I am so glad you brought that man's name up. And then you saw Raheem Morris do the Michael Jackson because he was trying to go moonwalk and try to step aside. And I thought he was about to do the two-step boogie. Because of the way he was trying to avoid that question. And then when he ended up saying, well, it's the way his communication was. And I'm going, he challenged you, didn't he?
Yeah,
He basically looked at you and said, "Ra, this thing sucks, man. Why are we doing this?"
yeah, because he's effectively he's got the Drake Londons and the Darnell Mooney's and the Ray McLeods in his ear saying this ain't working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as Ray McLeod says, you get rid of a football man, you get rid of a well respected coach. After your your third game after a loss when it had nothing to do with him. And that was down to the fact that he challenged Raheem. Now, I said in the last program, that effectively the best leaders accept challenges. The best leaders want to have people around them that will not just challenge them, but will challenge other people.
Iron sharpens iron.
And
that's
it.
Not everybody's going to be best friends. Not everybody. The Falcons want to make it's almost like this. Raheem wanted to be a CEO coach.
Mhm.
Okay. So he wanted guys that would see his vision, wanted to support him, and basically kiss his ass. All right. Let's call it what it is. All right. We're all grown-ups. So the deal is when someone challenges you, you could either do a few things. You could take offense and cry. You could step up and talk and explain, hey, man, I see this. I don't like how this is running. The receivers are not, coming in and out. By the way, take Drake Mooney or take Drake London out. How great are our receivers?
Yeah. Yep. As I say, a lot of people throw around, and I know I like to make the joke and steal one of Bengal's lines. So shout out to Big Game Bengal over on YouTube. But we like to say think it's money with 2 O's, but realistically, he's not a 2. He's a top band 3 for me, and that's why I wouldn't be against going receiver in the draft, and give somebody like the chance to be a true number 2. Because I feel like, especially if Kyle Pitts moves on, because he's your number 2 target, you're going to need to replace that level of production.
And you look at what Pitts can. It's like this. Another reason why I am the way I am. When Kyle Pitts got drafted, I begged and pleaded for one man, Renee Sewell. Give me Sewell. Because I felt you needed to make sure Matt Ryan could stay alive. And I wanted that tackle. I thought he would have been a tackle that you could have moved around. You could have done whatever you wanted. And then, Lord and behold, we draft a quarterback that's a lefty. And I'm thinking, man, if we had Penei Sewell, you wouldn't have to worry about that right tackle. But anyway.
Yeah.
But Kyle Pitts, I just want to call him not the Morgan Freeman, because I really don't want to do that to Morgan Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman. But he's just that character in a movie that's just there. He's just there. He no emotion. He's just deadpan. He's just there. When you look at him and you're like, hey, man, let's get excited. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Kyle. That's Kyle Pitts. And look, people have been trying to cap for this man. They're trying to say, look, if we could just usher the offense. Look, at this point, this is year 5. You're not ushering nothing for this man. This is let's just get this over with so we can break up with him.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if it's in the substance abuse policy anymore. Kyle talks as though he's taking a leaf out of Cheech and Chong's book.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if he goes to another team and he's talkative and full of life, I'm just going to look and go, you know what I call that? That's because you were a part of the Falcons. Now there's this thing called life. So, but seriously, it's I just look at it, and no matter what, this is why I always go back to Terry on some things. You had the opportunity to get rid of that. You could have, but everyone's like, oh, but you got to give him another chance. Oh, but you got to give him another chance. Oh, you're number 4. We got to give him another chance. Oh, you're number 5. We got to give him another chance. So my thing is this. You've had your chances. I think, Kyle, it's like this. I think we could get a tight end in the 2nd, 3rd round. I don't even think that would be a hardship. I'm looking at these injuries. And dear God, if Pierce is out, Dorless is out,
Anyamata's
Onyemata's out too.
Yeah, he's doubtful.
Yep.
Dude,
Doubtful.
can the Falcons ever just tell people with the injury and not play freaking code word? Because these guys are the worst at with the injury report. I've never. I know. Look, and I know a lot of teams don't talk about the injuries, but my God, guys, some of the because I didn't even know anything that Pierce was questionable.
Yeah.
I didn't find that out until about I was getting the picks in place for the show tonight. So you're talking about maybe 45 minutes ago. I found out he was questionable.
So guys, at the moment,
crazy.
Drake London's out with a knee injury. DeMarco Hellams is out with a hamstring, and Brandon Dorless is with a groin. Questionables Edge, James Pierce Jr. with back issues, and David Onyemata with a foot injury.
Any news on Chris Lindstrom?
Chris Lindstrom had limited participation. So full participation, tight end Felipe Franks, calf. Limited participation, Josh Woods hamstring. Leonard Floyd, not injury related, he's resting.
He's old.
Chris Lindstrom foot, so he's got limited participation.
Okay.
Jake Matthew, not injury related, resting. And
old.
Again, so yeah, that's it. So that's what we've got.
Okay.
Seattle Seahawks.
My question is going to be how we can run, because if we do we're not going to be, or we're going to be limited in how much we can use pulling guard with Chris if he's coming off a foot, because his push off the dirt isn't going to be quite as snappy as what you'd want. So it's just one more thing to hamper this offense.
The issue we've got, is that this coaching staff really aren't thinking about next year. They're not thinking about, if we put him out there and he's only 85%, it could cost them a wee bit more time. All they're wanting is they want wins to give them a bit of credibility at the end of the season when they're sitting down with Arthur Blank. And he's ready.
And this is the thing, to back that up, sorry. And that's the thing, just to back that up as well, Des. Like, a lot of these, they're talking a lot about the rookies and the second year guys, 22, 23, 24 years old. We forget sometimes that Lindstrom's only 28 himself. So he's got a long road ahead.
Personally, I don't worry about Lindstrom. This is where I'm gonna be real blunt when I look at the offensive line and I look at Lindstrom. I look at him and I go, I don't worry about him because he's an offensive lineman. So what I'm thinking is, as a play caller, I need to make sure Lindstrom's pain tolerance is where it needs to be, and not just his pain tolerance, but I need to know, okay, what can you do? So guess what that means? I'm not throwing freaking screens every other third down at 3rd and 9 for running or whatever. I'm telling Lindstrom and I'm telling the guys, we're running the ball, go forward. Okay? If we have to go pass, guess what? We'll play pass, protect. But this is where I look at Zach Robinson and like what we're all talking about. Look at these injuries.
Zach Robinson, I'm looking at Charlie Warner, because Charlie Warner, when he's asked to effectively take passes, he's done well. People forget, before he went to the University of Georgia, he was a pass catching tight end. He wasn't a blocking tight end. So he's got the history for that. So if you're trying to make your offense unpredictable, then start throwing it maybe to the tight end that nobody's expecting the ball to go to.
Yeah, and I mean, as we say, we've seen through homegrown that the boy had some hands for being a blocker, and that's one thing that, as I say, being the Madden generation, you come to put so much credence or stock in archetypes, but I mean, I don't completely agree with it, because Kyle Pitts is listed as a physical tight end, and the one drawback we've had is he doesn't have the body control that we'd like. So you make that make sense.
You telling me Kyle Pitts is physical? Let me explain something. If he's physical, that means you're telling me that I'm trying to think. That Santino Marella is the most physical WWE superstar you've ever met in your life. Because let me explain something. That ain't no physicality. I mean, my Lord. I can't let that happen, man. Kyle Pitts ain't no physical, man. That's one word that's not in the vocab. He is a bougie wannabe slot number 3 versus tight end. He don't want that kind of smoke. He gets to the opportunity. He's on that edge, and he goes, "You know what? Nah, I ain't about that life."
Yeah, 100% get you. But that's the thing. It's like you look at him from a physical standpoint, and it's like, surely, man, surely.
Yeah.
But
he's a monster.
And as I say, that's the drawback, and that's why a lot of people kind of have always kind of come for the Falcons for that pick, because he's not proved worthy of it. As I say,
let me ask you. Is Sam Laporta? Now I'm going to say names that are injured, but just flow with me. Sam Laporta, Tucker Kraft. You know, those guys, are they better than Penix or not Penix? Pitts.
Yeah.
You know, are those guys? I mean, Brock Bowers. You know, look at the guys that are already coming out that are having more of an impact on their teams than Kyle Pitts did. All right. Look, a lot of people, when they were breaking down the Falcons when Pitts was the only receiver, was because, they would all say the same thing. There's no one else there. Matt's got to throw to somebody. So, that's what it was. Personally, I think the Falcons messed up the biggest when they said, what was it? When they looked at Deshaun Watson and screwed over Matt Ryan. I didn't think Matt was going to give us anything great, but I think that, it did kill his career because, you lose that support. But I still think, those moments, and not just killed the Falcons, but it killed Kyle Pitts because then he went through all the injuries, the quarterbacks, that man was pointing more fingers than you could think of.
Yeah, that's right. You said it. And as I say, like, we promised you guys some special guests tonight, and another one of the frequent flyers has just come home to roost. So shout out, Brother E. Good to have you back with us as always, and hopefully you can calm this situation down. But I know you ain't too happy either, so maybe you're just here to join the rant and throw in your own kicks. We'll see. But how are you feeling tonight, brother?
Hey, I'm outstanding. A little tired, a little winded, but I'm good. I couldn't wait to get on the show tonight. Appreciate you guys having me on. But honey,
always a pleasure, brother. And you, like ourselves, are always beaten, never broken.
Yeah, true indeed. But those honey-do lists just keep growing. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. After 30 years of marriage, those honey-do lists, I keep trying to avoid them, but they just don't happen. So I'm here now, and hopefully we can. I've been catching bits and pieces of what you guys were talking about, so hopefully we can finish this thing out and.
As I say, we're glad to have you. So as I say, you've heard a few sort of tidbits and things that we've been saying. So in terms of what you picked up, I mean, how are you feeling? Do you think we can get this win on Saturday? Do you even think it matters, or are you already out looking forward into the draft and things like that? Or my first question would probably be where are you at right now with it all, brother?
I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm tired, boss.
That's
I mean, plain and simple. I'm just, at this point, man, it's just whatever happens. As a longtime fan, you're like, wait a minute, this is not what we're used to. This is not the Atlanta Falcons. And right now, as far as the rest of the season, I'm not looking for anything to expecting anything. If we make it, we make it. If not, then so be it. But at this point, man, it feels like a new TV show coming on. You just like, and the anticipation it's just mute. But at this point, with all the players that we have, that's, as you guys say, as the screen says, that it's inactive.
I would say probably the best way to say that is it's not a new TV show. It's probably a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off. It's literally
exactly. And they're doing everything they can to try to keep it.
spin off your TV program that didn't do very well, and then that next spin off didn't do very well, and then they done another spin off of that. That's
exactly.
And then the fifth spin-off, you're just going, how did this get connected to the first string? Can we please explain this to me?
Yeah,
it's like Alien 6 or 7 or something like that, and you're just sitting here going, wait, I've seen all this before.
I mean, she's got a nice rack. I'm not mad, but please.
It's like right now they're doing it, and this is what I hate now. Everything about it is about social media now, so it's like you never know what is real. Is Raheem Morris really coaching this way? Are we? The decision that's being made. You're like, wait a minute, something is not right. This is not Atlanta. It's all this
take you back and paraphrase Bart Simpson a little bit. It's like, oh no, the Atlanta Falcons were just something that were made up to scare kids, like the Boogeyman or Michael Jackson. But no, I know, honestly, it's crazy, and it's kept it fun. At least that's one thing you can say. It does make the shows more fun, that you never quite know kind of what you're going to get out of this team.
Exactly. At this point, we just hope right now that we can curtail all the drama that's happening. Because like I said, this is not Atlanta. We was always about trying to put together a good product, put it on the field, and do our best and get to the playoff. But right now we seem like we're dealing with more drama and what else than what's normal. So, but I don't know, man. I'm just, like I said, I'm just mute at this point. I just hope that going forward we make a decision and get back to business. Putting together a product, putting it on the field for the fans. Keeping the fans in the stadium, because right now everything has been talked about as far as boycott, as far as going fans not being Falcon fans anymore. So I mean, like I said, all this drama is just not normal for Atlanta.
And that's what I was going to deal with that. That's what I was going to say. There's more drama off the field now than there is on the field. There's more things for us to talk about off the field than what we are seeing on the field, and that's the biggest issue. And that's how you know that the whatever's happening in the locker room, whatever's happening in the boardroom, it's not a good place to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And this is what we would kind of drive home as well, and I feel like that's why the frequent flyers down in the chat, whether they choose to come on and become co-panelists with ourselves or not, I feel like the guys appreciate the fact that we're very much the same. It's from a place of love, and although I mean, I've had sparring matches, I've went a few rounds with all these guys on the show with me tonight. But that's the fun of it, is we know that every one of us that's speaking has the Falcons first and foremost. And that's the beauty of it all. I mean, that's why I love, as I say, kind of being the father of this network, so to speak. It's so fun to get the worldwide takes. I mean, as I say, we profess to be the voice of all the fans here at AFNI. So, as I say, we appreciate you boys coming on again, and as I say, licking your wounds with us more than anything else.
I wouldn't say a voice. I think at the moment we're just screaming. You know what I mean? It's just a scream, I think, at the moment. You know what I mean? And when you were saying earlier on, it's fun. Doing the show is fun. And talking about the Atlanta Falcons is fun. It's as fun as that wee zapping machine that they've got in that big white hospital up the road. You know what I mean? So,
wow.
You know what I mean? It's literally watching this team now. It's the issue you've got is that your confidence in this team is gone. You don't have any confidence.
Yeah.
So you don't. You literally see them coming out in the first half and effectively shit their pants. Then you expect, and then you watch your coach do things daft like win the toss and not be fair. You know what I mean? And I said in the last show, you effectively want to see what team you're playing against,
right?
And then organise it. You've got the ball at the start of the second half, and you know what kind of defense your offense is going against, and you can then start managing on that.
And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of Georgia fans are sold because their dogs are doing so well, and they almost come in As I say, I like to paraphrase Candace Owens. My fiance is a big fan, and she likes to say, "We don't know, but we know." And I feel like that's the life of an Atlanta Falcons fan too. So I mean, a lot of people are out just watching the college ball, and certainly I've had that response. As I say, we're always looking for new creators. So I've been talking to a few more people in the background, and some people have outwardly said, "Yeah, I'd love to be on." Not this season. So I mean, the ship's sold, not just on the results,
do this to me.
On the coaching staff. So I mean, the talent pool's dwindling. We need to kind of hold on to what we've got left here.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a bad dream and just can't wake up. Just,
where did they touch you? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's why Maggie had the couch. It's like, would you like to sit down and tell me about your Falcons? Yes.
It all started in '98. Eugene Robinson.
It's been a bad Freudian slip.
Right. By the way, Maggie, I need to set an appointment. I need to vent a little bit.
That's it. And I mean, you guys will probably know as well. And if you don't know this gentleman by now, then I would ask, if you're out in the community around Atlanta, where have you been hiding? But I've got a special show announcement. So on Thursday, December 18th, there will still be an open panel. So if you guys have got time, you're more than welcome to join us. But as I say, the self-professed champion, sporting a very nice custom version of that big gold belt there. But we're very proud to announce that after some grind behind the scenes, that Vinny, the Falcon Dorsey, will be joining us to talk some Falcons on the 18th. So as I say, he's been chatting about coming on board as one of our frequent flyers, like you boys as well, especially now that we're getting into looking at different drafts and things like that. So as I say, whatever you want to see, be it positional breakdowns or anything like that, you can drop it down in the chat. Just keep the red and blacks coming with that, because we love to see that. But yeah, as I say, we promised that we would keep this thing growing. We promised you guys that we would keep the all-star panelists coming along, and that this thing would only get bigger and better. And as I say, to that I hold.
I just want to know where they got his suit from. That's what I want to know.
Sharp, right?
I mean, I can't hate on the game, man. He's everywhere.
I know.
Yeah, and I bet you that's not the question he's expecting. Like, he'll come on like, right, let's talk football, and Des is like, but before we start, who's your tailor?
Look, I need to know, man.
The people need to know, and this is the thing. Like, shows a need to know basis, and we always try to give you the facts. So if we find out where that nice suit jacket come from, then we'll be sure to let you know. But yeah, as I say, none of these shows can go ahead without you, the guys down in the chat as well. So I mean, if you do want to join the Kilted Revolution, as we've been calling it, and become one of our frequent flyers, there's always more dirty birdie work needing done. And we want your takes, we want your help. So get at us on the socials, which we'll share with you at the end of the show. But I mean, we're just going to kind of freeball it for another sort of 10-15 minutes or so.
Okay.
So what I will do just now is pull up the Q&A section, which, as I say, this is where I get to show my talent. So before I do, as I say, you know where to go if you want to earn your kilt. Just contact Maggie, Des, myself, any of the guys on the panel. We'll tell you the wheres and the whens. So on to questions then. So either ask away or come have your say. The panel are here if there's anything you want to cover before we shut things down for the night. But yeah, as I say, I'm tired.
Ask,
but
what's a score prediction for tomorrow?
Oh dear,
Too many to not enough.
Mhm.
Hold on. How many times is Raheem going to look at the scoreboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see nothing.
Hold on. You know what? I would love for someone to ask him, hey, Ra, you always say you're going to watch film, but as much as you look up at that scoreboard, don't you think that big old screen could show you what you've been missing?
Hey, that's going to be the question. Like, hey, Coach, what exactly are you looking at when you look up there?
Yeah.
You should be focusing on the game. What are you looking at? You acting like you playing like you're actually playing the game. You know, what exactly are you looking for?
Yeah, when he's showing a challenge flag, he's obviously not looking at the screen. That's for sure. Because,
no. I feel like his head's in the matrix. He's looking through the scoreboard, but he can't see the score because if he had done, he'd maybe adjust a little bit more on the fly. Right. But as I say, the topsy-turvy world of being a Falcons fan, and I don't foresee tomorrow being any different. But nevertheless, we will be here for it. So this is something that Des will tell you. I almost got a slap on the wrist because the show was almost a couple of minutes late, but. On the other hand, you can never doubt my commitment to the cause, because starting tomorrow, it will be the first official episode of the Kettle Sessions, which is AFNI's now family watch parties. So, as I say, as miserable as the experience may be, you can at least join us for a laugh, if nothing else.
Come for the laughs. I swear we'll be funny. I might even curse.
Oh, there's no might about it, mate. When you get in with the Scottish, you're going to hear some colourful language. That's just a prerequisite at this point. And
I am going to be asking the question, is Drew McIntyre really Willie from The Simpsons? That will be my question the whole time.
Right.
See what you've done there is you've just made yourself an enemy for life. we were going so well, bro.
I'll tell you, Drew McIntyre.
I'll be right back.
No worries, brother.
Drew McIntyre is one of the nicest, quietest guys you ever met. Honestly, being in and around the industry, what you see is that the ones that are the nut jobs and the crazy ones in the ring, they're actually the more quieter ones in the outside the ring. And Drew McIntyre, actually, when you meet him and you start speaking to him, he comes across as being quite a shy person. And what he's then turned himself into is phenomenal. Just an amazing guy, great guy.
Kudos.
Now that he was mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, now that he's a Royal Rumble winner, a WWE champion, former champion, all that good stuff. I mean, back in the days, a three-man band, as fun as that was, maybe we didn't see the trajectory quite as it was, but it's always amazing to see when one of our brothers are competing. I say the same for Joe Hendry as well. Right now, he's really flying the saltire over in the States right now. So it's great to see. I've not had the pleasure of meeting Drew yet, but yeah, from what I hear, he's a lovely big guy. And as I say, if I do get the chance, or obviously if anybody's watching this that is in any way connected to WWE.
He's gone. It's been really bad tonight. So there's a wee question from Tony Hall. Do you think that the team will ever have a full assortment of picks in a draft cycle? For some reason, Terry likes to. He always trades up for his second round pick. He always trades up for his second round pick. So, listen. See, from my point of view, the way to look at it is, it doesn't really matter how many picks you've got if you're not picking the right guy. I mean, it showed this time, and I think it was probably the fact that Terry had so little picks that they worked harder this year to make sure that the picks that they did get were the right guys, and it showed this year. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's about having the full assortment. It's just about picking the right guys.
And that's a brilliant segue right there, Des, because we know talent and how to pick it, and as we say, the hits keep coming. Asking you shall receive. So T-Will, thanks for joining us again, brother. From one time for the fan fame, for my Atlanta sports, for my Atlanta movies, and as I say,
that's my dog.
When you're talking about those movie reviews, I'm going to touch base with you soon about getting in on some of those. But how are you, my brother?
Definitely gotta do it, man. How y'all doing? Pandemic.
What's going on, my brother?
Y'all all right? Everybody good?
As good as we can be. Big game tomorrow, but we're doing our best.
Yeah, how you guys think we're gonna do, man? I mean, you could make a case for, you could make a case against. Like, give me your thoughts on what we can do. What up, C-Dub?
So, sorry, I was in the middle of having to get dinner ready. My bad.
No, you're all good. I mean, I was trying to stuff mine down before I got on because that's the thing. It's the joys of being a content creator. My missus is like, "Oh no, we'll get pie and mash before your show," and I'm like, "I don't know if I can fit it in." Like, I'm still trying to prep with one hand and eat with the other. It's just the joys. But no, as I've said a million times, you can never say we're not committed. But no, as I say, we've kind of broke it all down over the last hour or so. But T-Will, I don't know. This season, for all intents and purposes, seems cooked. But at the same time, you know how it is being a Falcons fan, so it wouldn't surprise me now if we go out and beat Seattle tomorrow. I said to Desi, if we go 2-3 in our last 5 games, how much do you bet the 2 wins will be Seattle and Tampa Bay? Just to give us that sprinkling of hope and paranoia that Raheem stays, which, let's be fair, I don't think any of us want to see at this point.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It'd be the most Falcon thing ever for us to go on a 5-game win streak.
You really think with this coach? Look, you think with this coaching staff, this crew, yeah. Look, if they go on a 5-game win streak, I will do a burlesque dance and dance on the street corner. All right,
C-Dub, I'm trying.
There you go.
There's no hope. Look, hope went away when Tyrod Taylor scrambled, did his thing, and the Jets threw to Keyshawn Martin. Oh, my bad. Keyshawn Johnson.
My goodness.
Eddie Mitchell, who dropped the ball at the 1-yard line.
Right.
Oh, do you know what? We definitely need the parental advisory if we're going live for that one. C-Double's threatening to whip out the nipple tassels.
No, hey,
Tassels in the mall, baby. I'll let it all fly.
don't make that promise. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll do it. I have no shame. If it means good content for the channels, guess what? I'll do it.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I ain't got no shame. I lost that a long time ago. It's called a fucking fan.
Someone actually.
Hell yeah. Things can't go south if you're already there, brother.
Oh man.
Hold on.
Hey, what's the last game of the year?
The Saints.
C-Dub, if we win 4 in a row, you gonna be nervous that last game?
Nope. Because you know what? Hold on. That means we would be favored. That would mean we would be going into the game. We are 1-6 when we're favored.
Good point. Okay.
I will be walking in going, ha! Didn't work. And then off the Blake. Well, I'm just going to give him a chance. And then I'm going to go into the facilities at Flowery Branch and super kick Arthur Blank.
Hell yeah. What's your name? See, I just kicked Arthur. It's coming. Like, trust me. And as Maggie says, it's great to have a full panel. As I say, get some of the newest frequent flyers out, let you guys really get a proper introduction. As I say, it's a bit of a small watch base tonight, just purely because we're up against Georgia, Bama, and we football of that quality. I hate saying football of that quality as a Texas fan, but Georgia's good, so I'll let you away with it. No disrespect to your dogs.
No matter what's going on in the world, right? It's always a good time to talk Falcon football. I don't care.
Exactly. Hold on. And drunk Stark won't be wanting to talk about us because he knows better. He knows who his daddy is. His name is Kirby. He's on the sideline.
Oh no! Do you know what? We're not going to be respected in the SEC until we handle Georgia. I said that coming in, and we've not done it for 3 years. So it's at this point, it's becoming more and more a meme. But as I say, it's not Georgia that kept us out of the playoffs. It's Florida. So so public enemy number 1 right now isn't exactly who you think it would be. And at least, as I say, we've been embraced so much by Atlanta as I have been. A kind of, at least it's a love-hate relationship now instead of just outright hatred. So at least you've won me over to a point.
It's not like you're going.
That's it.
Look, let's ask.
To speak on a love-hate relationship, and this is also going to touch on Tony Hall's question about the pick and the picks in the draft, right?
Yeah, please do.
I'm going to say this about that. If Terry Fontenot pulls this off, we know we know what he did with the Matt Ryan deal, But if Terry Fontenot comes out and pulls off this draft like he's done with the past and put together a product that could actually turn this whole season around and make us forget about it, oh my goodness, he is my man. I mean, if like I said, I already have the faith in him. I already have the faith in him to turn this thing around. I mean, contrary to what you might think, right?
Yeah.
From the
it's all good, man. We're having fun.
To the Cal Pitts, to the Bijan Robinson picks, we do actually have a good product on the field. I know the win-loss record doesn't show it, but we have a good product on the field, and it's obvious what went wrong with this season.
Yeah,
and it's been all
coaching. So
I mean,
all right.
So it's gonna be interesting how he turns this thing around. It's going to be in his hands for the draft.
I feel like it's an issue that we've addressed multiple times this season, just how inept the coaching's been at times, and I feel like I'm concerned rather than scared going into the off season as to who comes in and how much are they going to want to shake up shop, so to speak. As I say, there's a lot of talent to be paid too.
That's not the concern. The concern is that we don't have somebody coming in at the end of the season. That's my concern.
I guess the only thing worse than a new dawn would be staying where we are. So I can't go against that 100%.
Here, all right, let's talk about this because 2026 is coming.
Sure enough.
All right, so we could go out and do the following: bring the whole gang back. Kurt, Zach, Raheem, and make it into an episode of Full House if that's what everybody wants. You know what? And Arthur Blank could be the special guest host into it. All right, and we'll still suck, but either way, but that's what everybody wants. We could do that.
John Stamos, C-Dub. Who's going to be John Stamos? I
mean, I could, but I don't have the hair requirement, so I would have to wear a wig. But I would do it for the sake of the show. But I need me a nice little wife pocket like he had. But anyway, not one taking money out of your pocket either. Now, all right. So we could do that, or we could do a few things. All right, we could do a full-on rebuild. All right, and I know people are scared of that word, but guess what? This house is so funky. The walls need to get stripped down. I need to get the studs exposed. The floor's got holes. My Kyle Pitts has just been leaking all over my floor. All right, he don't show up anyway. All right. Wow. Oh, this wonderful, beautiful stuff. Oh, hold on, but I got to make sure to take care of my high vase, which is my precious Michael Penix, because if we put him out under center, he'll crack. But anyway, then we have. By the way, I love Penix, so I don't want people thinking I'm just having some fun. Right. Bijan, he's like the fine china, but you never have people over to have it on the fine china. That's why we hang out with the Tupperware that is Algier. And then we got our everyday vehicle, Drake. But you know what? We've been riding this bicycle with no seat named David Steels. Ooh. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get another receiver in the draft because I'm tired of being like having Drake London and like get someone who can catch and run and not one or the other. That would be nice.
I'm going to say this team doesn't need a rebuild. This team is a playoff team. This is a playoff team with a bad coaching staff.
Yeah. Here's the problem with that, though. Here's the problem.
See, I would say, see if we brought in, see if you brought in Kyle Shanahan and handed them this team, it'd take us to the Super Bowl. Guarantee you.
Agreed.
See if you brought in Sean McVay.
I think he would coach up everybody. Yeah, I can see him being. Yeah, he could get the most out of it.
Yeah, you brought in Sean McVay and gave him this team. I guarantee he's taking us to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I could say that.
That's the difference. So why would you tear down something that
Here-
effectively is in place just
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
All right, here's why.
I've already said that what we need to do is we need to go for the best coaching, the best available coach that's out there at the end of the season. And I think that if they look at this roster, they're going to be impressed by what they see. Yeah, you can get into the second and the third depth chart and say that it's a bit shallow. I understand that, but the actual weapons that you've got on defense and offense is there. And then you have to have a better draft and just bring in literally.
Well, let's play that game then. So, I mean, I'll go in order of obviously when you came on. So we can start with T-Will, round to Manny, and then back round. But I mean, T-Will, if there's one guy for the job, who's your next head coach?
Man, that's a good question. Because whoever it is, you're going to need an offensive coordinator that's a quarterback whisperer. Well, okay, first and foremost, we don't know when Phoenix is going to be back because, again, I don't know about you guys, but I don't trust a word they say when it comes to injuries. So
we have a receiver with a PCL injury that we don't know if he's supposed to have been week to week, but he's missed 3 weeks in a row. There you go.
Yeah,
exactly. So to C-Dub's point, it could be Kirk for 6 months. And then are we keeping Kirk? So, there are a lot of variables, I want to say. If you can get Mike McCarthy, I'm okay with it. If you can get Tomlin, I'm okay with it. Tomlin is one of those coaches that he's won without quarterback. Very good defensive coach. We have the makings of a good defense here. I'm okay with Tomlin, but if Tomlin comes, he's going to need an offensive guru to really help out Penix and
Arthur Smith
and get this. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Let's revitalize this run game.
Don't say that. But I don't know, guys. There's so many variables. You know what I mean? I'm okay with Mike McCarthy. And I'm okay with Mike Tomlin. Those would be because I don't think Green Bay is going to fire LaFleur. Now, if they did, then LaFleur is my guy. But I don't see that. So, for me, take your pick. Tomlin or McCarthy.
I like Tomlin, and it's one that I hadn't thought about. But if I was going to do that, I would be hoping that maybe a Mike McDaniel had been fired off from Miami, because at that point I would be pairing those two and saying you handle the defensive side, let Mike take the offense and have some sort of conglomerate built around that. That would maybe be my take. How do you feel about it, E? Who have you got as your next guy, at least even in pencil at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. But at this point, man, any coach will be an upgrade from Raheem right now. But I'm gonna leak into my next video that I have coming up. But guys, don't be surprised that we have a reunion in the house. And when I say reunion, I'm talking about Robert Saleh and Jeff Albrecht.
Oh,
don't be surprised, because you gotta look for that one head coach. Shall I say one coach that's looking to get back into the saddle, right? So Robert Saleh had to take a demotion and go to San Francisco. So you got to look for that one coach that's ready to get back into the saddle. Things didn't work out for Robert Saleh over in New York, and everybody know the reason why. I mean, it was a dysfunctional organization. They were worse than us as far as making decisions from the top. But don't be surprised if we see a reunion with Robert Saleh and Jeff Albrecht. I don't see Jeff Albrecht becoming the head coach, especially when we have, like T. Will said, that we got the people, coaches like Tomlin, we got Mike McCarthy, we got McDaniel, we got all those guys looking to get into the seat too. And like you said, we have a solid piece with the defense. So, but if that was to happen, don't be surprised if Robert Saleh finds his way into the Falcons organization. And you talk about a rebuild, right? We got to be very careful with this one. right? Because if we go full out rebuild, we're looking at a guaranteed 5 more years of frustration, 5 more years of losing. Because if you bring in another general manager, that general manager going to come in with a totally different mindset, a totally different routine, way of doing his thing. So you talk about that's 2-year process of even just getting that general manager in the seat.
Yeah. And we've been losing for 8 years.
Yeah.
And that's a great take as well, because I mean, I was thinking about it, and when you're talking about the dreaded R word, that's why a lot of people are scared of a rebuild, because for 4 or 5 years, like there's an old saying that I like to use, and it says, "To assume makes an ass out of you and me." And I feel like we assumed that 3 or 4 seasons ago that this was, oh no, we're going to let Terry cook, we're going to trust the process, we're going to do all that good stuff. So if we then have to reset and do it again,
it's not a rebuild. Yeah,
it's
not. Do
you
remember
do
you remember the press conferences? It's not a rebuild. You know.
Yeah, and here's the thing: a lot of people not realizing too. Terry Fontenot, he's relatively new to his position too. So you talk about he's not a first-year general manager, but at the same time, he's been with us. He's built what he has now on the field. So he's been 3-4 years. So he's relatively still trying to get his foot in the door too, because it's not like we picked up an experienced general manager. We picked up a very experienced talent scout who knows economics. So I mean, when you waited 2, he has done a phenomenal job. It hasn't panned out on the field, but he's done a great job. So we talk about moving on from a Terry Fontenot. Who are you going to replace him with? Because you got to remember, like Tony says, Rich McKay is still here. So we gotta separate them two.
And then that's one thing I feel like I always try to speak for myself and not put my opinions on the rest of the guys, but I feel like I understand these gentlemen on the panel with me enough to speak for them when I say hopefully without the best option, because as I say, if Rich McKay's the last voice and Arthur Blank's here, I feel like he has a much bigger hand. And again, that goes back to what you've been saying earlier. I think it was Lou that said about the coaches just outright lying. And we've made no qualms about the fact that we weren't too happy about the fact that he says I'm not involved in operations, but he's at every international game. So he kind of has to be.
Yeah, Nick Giolini and Chris Domino took care of that problem.
I would say on the Terry Fontenot debate, I think if Terry Fontenot does go, I think that Atlanta will look inwardly and probably look at Kyle Smith. Because he's already been getting a lot of admiring views and quite a few interviews for general manager jobs in other parts of the NFL. So that's something. I think he's well thought in the NFL circles as well. So that's possibly where they could go to.
Yeah. So what I will do as well then, before
ready?
Obviously we wind down and things like that, guys.
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Is just obviously say, are any of you guys planning on actually?
I think he cut out.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, right in the edge of the
right when he's about to ask the question too.
Yeah, I know.
It's the best cliffhanger in the world. All right,
I didn't cut him off.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I know he can't cut me off because my mic is beautiful. So let me say it like this. Number one, can we stop lying to ourselves? This team ain't a winning team. This team has been losing. We have not gotten to that point. We are under 500 for 8 years.
Yeah.
That does not, and I love how everyone says, we're close. We're close. We're as close as to the rebuild as we are contending.
Right.
So here's my suggestions. You take this stick of dynamite and you put it up in the chute and you let it go. Because that is what needs to happen. What I'm saying is, Arthur Blank, get your old crusty butt take Rich McKay to the beach so y'all can retire and, frolic to wherever you want. Get all the airport attendants you want. I don't care. Stay there because I want to look at Arthur Blank and go, hey, you own Home Depot. When did you allow 8 years of crap?
Right.
When did you allow for your company to be run like crap for 8 years in a row?
Right.
Because that's what you're doing here. So then I would look and I would say, you know what? Get your son. I don't care if he's 5 years old. Bring him in because he'll have a better idea than you. Basically, I would call Josh in and I would do the Kari Irsay. I would have him at the sidelines, listening to the game, learning the game. Mm-hmm. I would also have Josh hire a person to take over the operations of football, and as well as teaching him, meaning he's not in this by himself. He's not making decisions. This person is, and the person I'd go after is I'm looking at a guy like Ozzie Newsome, Lewis Riddick, guys that have been in organizations that knew how to develop people underneath.
Yeah. So
let's say we go after Ozzie. All right, I'm just saying his name. Then I'd look at Ozzie and say, who are guys that you think are the GMs that you would look at? Now, if it's C Double that's hiring, I'm looking over at Philadelphia. I'm going to try to take one of their guys just to see what are you going to do, analytics wise. Okay. Can you get me the bodies? Maybe we need to tweak how we sign people versus signing on that first day. Wait a few days because you're going to lose some guys. Folks, I hate to break it to you. Your precious Tyler Algier, he's about to get starter money. He's going to play on another team in a different uniform, and you ain't going to do nothing about it.
Right.
Kyle Pitts is going to become a different person when he signs his contract, but he'll get hurt and miss the rest of the year. Don't worry, Kyle will be Kyle. But you won't miss nothing. You won't because you have to put a mirror under his nose to see if he's breathing. All right. I mean, that is Kyle Pitts. Sorry. He's just Drake, I'm gotta ask the question. Everyone's like, oh, he'll resign. He's top 10, top 5, top this. Does Drake want to be here? Yeah. Because let me ask you, if you can't get an answer for that quarterback position, you think Drake's going to try to sign this big old contract and then go, I ain't got no quarterback?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And then you got to make a hard decision. Because let me tell you something. The number 10 receiver makes $28 million a year.
Yeah.
I think Drake is top 6, between 7 to 6. I can see him going 5, but because he didn't play the full year, I'm kind of in that limbo state.
Yeah.
Like, I can't argue if you went there, but I'm saying if I was doing talent evaluating and I was going to sign him. But now I got to look at it and go, do I have a receiver that can play? Because I know what Drake can do, but does he want to play with my team? And then I got to look at Bijan. The top paid running back is $21 million.
Yeah.
So it's all about numbers. And I'm going to go here. What has been the hardest thing for the Falcons to get? Pass rush. Guys, you drafted 2 pass rushers in one draft.
Yeah.
You know that contract's got to come up eventually.
Yeah.
So, and if Michael Penix isn't that guy, you've got to – this is why I say the rebuild may not be as bad because we're already bad. This team is operated as a bad team. There's no depth. The offensive quarterbacks have not done anyone any favors. There is no development. Spare me about DJ Williams. I just found out he actually coaches and he could talk. And trust me, he's just like a Falcon coach. He talks, he makes you go, be quiet. Just go away. Just don't do that. I mean, so that's where I'm at with this team. So my coach, if I had to get me someone that is like a guy that's new, I'd go after Clint Kubiak. I would. I think Clint Kubiak would be really good. An offensive system. If you said, well, Chris, go get you somebody that's at least had experience, I'm going after Robert Saleh. I think Saleh would be a good choice. And my offense coordinator, and the offense coordinator, I would call Kevin Stefanski because he's a former 2-time coach of the year. Yeah. And he never had a quarterback.
I'd also look at Brian Flores as well.
Yeah. Flores and Robert Salah are kind of like the same people, and I would not be mad if I saw either one on my sideline.
Not at all. I feel like, as I say, it's one of the things that's gonna prove to be make or break this year. More so than even the draft class itself is going to be where do we go in terms of coaching, because I feel like that's not going to just define the tail end of this season potentially or next season. I feel like that's going to define the very essence of this franchise for the next half a decade. So I want to make sure that we make the right choice this time, because as I say, look at who we had, the names we had, and we all know the names we had in, and we settled for Raheem Morris. So, but yeah, as I say, we plan on keeping some chat for tomorrow for the game for you as well. So if you guys are planning on joining us, then we'll be live from about 20 minutes before. So you can join us for the kettle sessions part 1 around about 20 to 1 Eastern time. That'll be 20 to 6 on the 20 to 6 in the UK and Europe. So before we shut down, what I will do, as we always do, is I will go around the panel, just get everyone to let you know whereabouts you can find them. But as I say, the ethos of AFN, such as it is going to mean that it's not by far the last time you're seeing any of these gentlemen on with me. So yeah, in terms of the socials and links, I'd say we'll go from the new blood back. So T-Will, where can everyone get at you if they want to continue this little chat offline with you?
Yeah, you can see me at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Say again the number 4, My ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube. You can also see me at For My ATL Movies 1 on YouTube as well. And I'm also on One Time for the Fan, also on YouTube. And hey, guys, thank you for having me. Des,
thank you for coming on. As I say, we appreciate your time as always. As I say, whenever you got the time, we got the space. So it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Brother E, where can the people get at you if they want to talk some birds?
Oh my goodness. Where do I start? Hey, first of all, shout out to the AFN family for having me on. Always a pleasure to be, always fun being with you guys. Share the stage with the great T-Will and C-Dub, the bearded gang. You know, I'm still trying to grow mines in.
It look good. It look good. Don't worry, I got you.
Maybe I should just go full on Viking beard. Like I've been trying to curtail the Van Dyke for too long. Maybe it's time to just give up and just let it grow.
I've let this thing gone and it's gone, so I can't stop it.
C-Dub said in 2017 he wasn't going to shave until we won another playoff game, and here he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's another excuse. I said to my wee sister, she's 15 now, and the last time I cut my hair was like 6 months after she was born. And I said, and I made a vow. I was like, I started watching the Falcons, and I went, I'll cut it after we win the Lombardi. So it's going to be at my knees before you know it. But but no, let's not speak that into the ether. As I say, it's not going to be this year. But the beauty of this is we're not having a Lombardi, is we'll all get to be here when it does. And rest assured, there'll be some fine bottles cracked that night. I can assure you that. But what I'll do is, as I say to the guys that are new, if it's your first time on with us, then you won't have heard this one before. But it's one we're going to get you all soon, because it is our closing statement. So have it prepped for the next time you're on, and I'll let one of you guys take over. But in closing, as always, folks, always remember that the Scottish Falcons and AFNI, we love our ATL. We would wish our Dirty Birds a very good night. Once again, before we close out, Des, enjoy the rest of your birthday, brother. Enjoy the rest of your time in Portugal. As I say, I appreciate you boys for coming on. And we promised you an all-star panel tonight, and that's what we delivered. So if you want to see more of this, drop your red and blacks down in the chat. But until we see you tomorrow for the game, always remember that pain is international, but so is passion. And we will catch you guys
We certainly got
tomorrow.
that.
Yeah.
Hell
Thanks,
yeah.
guys.
Y'all know
Falcon fandom, baby.
it. Peace, boys.
Peace.
Out.